After much hue and cry over lack of action against the authorities of Vibgyor High, the school's chairman has been arrested.
Accountability seems to have finally come into picture as the police have held Rustom Kherawala responsible for Vibgyor management's negligence. A special team from Bengaluru tracked down the chairman in Daman and Diu last night. He was immediately taken into custody and will be brought to Bengaluru for further investigations. Kherawala was arrested for allegedly concealing information and trying to destroy evidence. The chairman has been charged under various sections of IPC, including IPC 201, obstruction and manipulation of investigations. He might also be questioned for his attempt to shield the offender. He's also been booked under Juvenile Justice Act for an attempt to hide the crime. Kherawala has also been charged under the POCSO Act or Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. No background check seems to have been done on Mustafa before hiring him as assistant in 2011. Mustafa, who was recently arrested, was fired from another private school for inappropriate behavior towards female students. Many have even stated that the horrifying rape could have been averted if the management had bothered to run a background check on the accused. But that is not all. CCB cops arrived at the school in Marathahalli today and took 3 male staff into custody. Investigation seemed to be picking up pace after the pressure from the public and media is mounting on Bengaluru police. Bengaluru police finally seem to be taking action against the school management for failing to ensure student safety. It is worth mentioning that these steps have come only after public outrage against their sluggish pace. But the new police commissioner is here to put an end to it. He has stated that the city police henceforth will be given strict directions on how to proceed with someone attempting to register a complaint.
Many a time there could be sub-inspectors, assistant sub-inspectors or even a head constable in charge of the police station. Clear instructions have been given. They will be sternly dealt if there is any sort of delay in registering a case. They shall register cases freely and absolutely without any delay. Please bring it to our knowledge. Whenever such a thing happens, we have given very, very strict instructions and there shall be no delay. Not only in these kind of cases, any other kind of cases.
While only one accused in the case has been arrested, the other culprit, along with a few others who have been suspected of helping them, are still at large. But with investigations picking up pace, parents of the students of Vibgyor now hope that the miscreants are weeded out and the children return to a safe environment. Deepak Bopanna for News 9, Bengaluru.
The state continues to record crimes against women and children. Several horrific incidents reported from district headquarters of the state. Here's a report.
As the streets of Karnataka erupt in protest demanding better safety for women, the state continues to register cases of rape and sexual assault. While in some cases the accused is a known person, in several other cases victims are harassed in confinement. Koppal's monster stepfather. In Koppal's Bhagyanagara, a stepfather repeatedly raped his 15-year-old stepdaughter in confinement for 3 years. The accused 45-year-old Rajappa even attacked the girl's mother when she mustered the courage to confront him. The victim and her mother have now registered a case against Rajappa at the town police station. The police swung into action and immediately apprehended the accused. Earlier, Rajappa was jailed for 2 months because the residents of the area had complained against him. The victim is now undergoing medical treatment at a local hospital. Bellari's lurking rape monster. Meanwhile, a 20-year-old home alone girl was raped in Bellari by a 23-year-old youth. The crime occurred when the youth barged into the house at around 10 last night. The accused has been identified as Lambodara and has been apprehended by the Kamalapura police. The police have slapped sections 376 and 448 on the accused. There is no respite for women and children across the state as such heinous crimes continue to happen. Will the Chief Minister, sir, offer them assurances at least? A News 9 report.
Visuals of MLAs and ministers dozing off and engaging in everything other than productive legislative work has seen the public fume at their elected representatives. And on Wednesday, it turned out to be quite a traumatic experience for a villager from Gulbarga district.
Meet our common man, Narsappa, who had come to watch the assembly proceedings. Media personnel captured the common man bleeding profusely and being rushed to the hospital by the 108 medical team. Was the proceeding in such bad taste that Narsappa couldn't stomach it and he had a fall? It does appear that the proceedings were certainly not appetizing. Listen to what Speaker Kagodu Timmappa remarked about this.
ಹಿಂದೆ 2004ರಲ್ಲಿ 25,000 ಲಕ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ
ನೋಡಿ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡುವ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟರಪ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಇದಿರಬೇಕು.
Taste or no taste, one of our MLAs, Umesh Katti, once again found time to chew and chew on his favorite brand of gutka. And there was also our Energy Minister DK Shivkumar, who was busy attending to his mobile phone. Well, that perhaps explains why our Chief Minister Saibru is keen that private TV channels keep off assembly proceedings. Nobody, and certainly our Chief Minister, does not want bad publicity at this point of time. It is believed that Chief Minister Saibru could discuss the issue with Speaker Kagodu Timmappa. But expectedly, the opposition opposed the idea. Listening to what C.T. Ravi, the former Higher Education Minister and BJP MLA, had to say.
ಒಂದು ಖಾಸಗಿ ವಾಹಿನಿಗಳಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದಲೇ ವಿಧಾನಸಭೆಯ ಒಳಗೆ ನಡೀತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಾಸ್ತವಿಕ ಸಂಗತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಪ್ರತಿಬಿಂಬಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಖಾಸಗಿ ವಾಹಿನಿಗಳಿರೋ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ನಾವು ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವೋ, ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವೋ ಅಥವಾ ಚರ್ಚೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಜನರಿಗೆ ತಿಳಿಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಜನರಿಗೆ ತಿಳಿಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಹೀಗಿರೋ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವದ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮವನ್ನು 4ನೇ ಅಂಗ, ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವದ ರಕ್ಷಣೆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ 4ನೇ ಅಂಗ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತಿರುವಂಥ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಖಾಸಗಿ ವಾಹಿನಿಗಳನ್ನು ನಿಷೇಧ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಸರಿಯಾದ ಕ್ರಮ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಬಹುಶಃ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರು ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದನ್ನು ಜಗತ್ತಿಗೆ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬೇಸರ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಸಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಧ್ಯಮವನ್ನು ನಿಯಂತ್ರಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಕೈ ಹಾಕಬಾರ್ದು. ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮಗಳ ಲೋಪದೋಷವನ್ನು ತಿದ್ದೋಣ, ನಮ್ಮ ಲೋಪದೋಷಗಳನ್ನು ತಿದ್ದುಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ನಮ್ಮ ಲೋಪದೋಷವನ್ನು ತಿದ್ದುಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನೆರವಾಗ್ತಿರುವಂಥ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮವನ್ನು ನಿಯಂತ್ರಿಸೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ, ಅದನ್ನು ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ನಾವು ಹುಚ್ಚು ಸಾಹಸಕ್ಕೆ ಕೈ ಹಾಕುವಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಆಗ್ರಹನ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ.
There was more waiting in the assembly. Former Chief Minister and JDS leader H.D. Kumaraswamy was at his sarcastic best, lashing out at the inefficiency of the state police force.
ಏನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ರೇಪ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವೋ, ಅತ್ಯಾಚಾರ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ, ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಮರಳು ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರೇ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡೋರು, ರೇಪ್ ಮಾಡೋರನ್ನ ಹಿಡಿಯೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ನವರಿಗೆ. ಆ ಮರಳನ್ನ ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊತಾರೆ.
But if you thought that all the action was inside the assembly, you are wrong. A huge delegation of Congress legislators reached the Chief Minister's residence to, wait for it, lobby for a cabinet berth.
ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಚರ್ಚೆಗೆ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇರೋ 122 ಜನ ಆಕಾಂಕ್ಷಿಗಳೇ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಕ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಆಕಾಂಕ್ಷಿಗಳೇ, ಕೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ತಪ್ಪು ಕೂಡ ಏನಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ಆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಏನು ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ.
The BJP continues to voice its concern over the apathy and inaction of the government. Leader of the opposition, Jagdish Shettar, lashed out at the government. Listen into his grouse.
ಇವತ್ತು ಆಂಧ್ರ ಪ್ರದೇಶ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೀಮಾಂಧ್ರ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಚಂದ್ರಬಾಬು ನಾಯ್ಡು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಇಂಥವ್ರು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಇವತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಬರ್ತಾವೆ ಅಂತಾರ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿರಾಸಕ್ತಿ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಚಂದ್ರಬಾಬು ನಾಯ್ಡು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Clearly, there is a lot that happens in the assembly, and all that is brought to the viewers courtesy the private TV channels. Pity the government wants to ban this kind of information dissemination. Sukesh for News 9.
KRV activists have done it yet again. In the name of safeguarding Kannada and Kannadigas' interest, they created a ruckus at a toll booth in Chitradurga.
It was a routine day at this toll booth near Chitradurga. Until this SUV arrived. Take a look at as to what happens. The vehicle, which belongs to KRV President Narayan Gowda, arrived on lane 3 instead of taking the VIP lane. The toll booth official has allegedly uttered a few words in Hindi and has asked the driver to wait until he could check the VIP credentials of the vehicle. All hell broke loose right after that.
ಆ ದುರ್ಗದಿಂದ ಚಿತ್ರದುರ್ಗ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 3ನೇ ನಂಬರ್ನ ಬಂದ್ರು. ಅವರಿಗೆ ವಿ ಎ ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಇತ್ತು, ವಿ ಎ ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. 3ನೇ ನಂಬರ್ನಾಗ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಗೇಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಒಂದು 2-3 ನಿಮಿಷ ಟೈಮ್ ತಾಮುತ್ತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೂತಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ ಹುಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಷ್ಟು ಬಿಟ್ಟೇನಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ದಿದ್ದು ಅವ್ರ ಕಡೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು ಮತ್ತು ಅವ್ರ ವಾಹನ ಚಾಲಕರವ್ರನ್ನ ಹೊಡೆದು ಅವರು ಇವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ಗಳನ್ನ ವಿಷಯನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊಡೆದೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
The staff was slapped, punched and kicked. And look what the other person does. The vehicle, after creating ruckus, vandalizing the toll booth and having caused inconvenience to others, vanished from the place. But soon other activists arrived and staged a protest in the name of safeguarding Kannada and Kannadigas' interest. This is not the first time such a thing is happening. KRV activists have resorted to violence numerous times in the name of safeguarding their mother tongue. But one is definitely left with a question unanswered. Is rowdyism and Gundaism the only way to protect Kannada? And who has given them the right to take law into their hands? Maybe KRV could have answers for these two. Basavaraj Madanur for News 9, Chitradurga.